Weird equations, how do we solve them? Here's a weird equation. Can you solve it? Let me know in the comments. Let's go. If we take a look at this equation, it doesn't look like a linear. We don't have the highest power of x being x to the power of 1. Also, it doesn't look like a quadratic equation yet. So it's really hard to understand how do we approach this question. First thing to do is perhaps move the 1, and it's worth trying any strategy that you think will work and just jumping in and having a go. 3x plus 1 equals, the 1's cancel there. Always doing the opposite operation to both sides to solve. Now, to do the opposite of square root, we're going to square both sides all at once. Left-hand side squared, right-hand side squared. What's that going to do is it's going to cancel off the square root. Then we have left-hand side, 3x plus 1 squared equals 1 minus x. Now let's expand. Square the first term, 9x squared, double the product, 6x positive, square the last term, plus 1 equals 1 minus x. Add the x to both sides, 9x squared plus 7x plus 1 equals 1, and then subtract the 1 from both sides, which will just eliminate it. Then we're left with 9x squared plus 7x equals 0. We know what we need to do from here. It's just a quadratic, so factorizing, taking out the highest common factor, which is x bracket 9x plus 7 equals 0, using the null factor law. So if we let x equal 0, it will make the left-hand side be 0, so there's our first solution. And then if we let the bracket equal 0, left-hand side will also become 0. Minus the 7 from both sides, and we get 9x is negative 7, divide both sides by 9, negative 7 ninths. Now, with these weird equations, it's easy enough to think that we're done. However, it's always worthwhile testing your solutions to see if they actually work. So pop them back into the equation and let's see what happens. Left-hand side is 3x. So if we substitute x equals 0 to solve, we get 3 times 0, which is 0. Right-hand side was the square root of 1 minus x minus 1. So 1 minus 0 minus 1, which is the square root of 1 minus 1, which is also 0. So that solution checks out. Left-hand side equals right-hand side, which is 0, when x is 0. Let's substitute our second solution, negative 7 ninths, into both sides of the equation. So the left-hand side will be 3 times x, which is negative 7 ninths, which is minus 21 over 9. Always simplify your fractions, dividing numerator denominator by 3, minus 7 thirds. What is the right-hand side? It's a square root of 1 minus x, so 1 minus 7 thirds with a minus 1 on the outside, which is the square root of 16 over 9 minus 1, which is 4 thirds minus 1, which is a third. Okay, we didn't get left-hand side equals right-hand side, so therefore x equals 0 is the only solution there.